Okay, we're going to do our first tutorial on After Effects. So I'm going to come down into my dock and I'm going to launch the After Effects program. You'll get a launch screen. It's doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes here, and it opens up the program and it will give you a start screen. And here you can open a new project. These are your most recent projects, so you can just open one of them if you click on it. You can navigate to a project that you did a while ago and that isn't showing up here in your recent project. So if I hit that, it allows me to go into my folders and my hard drive to find something. For this demonstration, there's also some team project building things. We're not going to go into those right now. So I'm going to open a new project. And if you're actually working on a project that you intend to use in a film or for a little animation, you always want to save your project first and foremost, okay? So I would say save as. I'm just going to put it in our 327 class here. I'm going to make a little folder called demos, and I'll call this AE Demo 1. Okay, you'll see down here it's an After Effects project. We're not making a template right now, so I'm going to save it, and you'll see up here that the name of your project is going to show up on your After Effects header. Now, After Effects is very similar in a lot of ways to Photoshop. It's like Photoshop over time, okay? So you'll recognize that a lot of the tools that you have up here at the top, the text tool, the pen tool, rectangle tool, those kinds of things, they're all from Photoshop. So if you've used Photoshop or you have a chance to use it, it will really help you understand a lot of what's going on in After Effects. Over here are different ways that the interface can be set up, different workspaces. I'm going to set it to Essentials. You'll see if I hit Standard, it changes slightly. If I hit Small Screen, it changes slightly. I'm going to go with Essentials and we'll be off and running. So here on your left is your project screen. This is where all the assets for your program, whatever you're making, are going to be stored. So it would be video, images, sound clips, anything that you've created somewhere else, you import here. You can also create some things here in After Effects and they would be stored here as well. So if you create a color screen or once you start creating compositions, they'll be stored over here. Okay, here's your composition screen, and you'll see we don't have a composition right now. I always like to look inside and see what's possible here. Because we don't have anything in the composition screen right now, there's a lot of things that are grayed out. Okay, so this is where you will watch the project that you're building. So if you have a video that you've put in there and you've added text and you've added some effects, this is where it will all show up, and this is where you'll watch it and make sure it's looking the way that you want it to look. Okay, we're going to come down here for a second, and this is your timeline. As soon as you drop something in your timeline, it will show up as a layer over here on the left, and I'll be talking about that in a second. Over here on the right are some other panels that aren't open at this point. You can just click on these and see what's inside of them. And you'll notice that some of the ones down here are exactly what you would see in Photoshop. So if you're using the text tool, which is up here, you'll recognize these paragraph controls. So you can make things centered, you can make things aligned. Up here in character is where you would pick the font, you would pick the color, and the size, various aspects of text, and we'll be doing a tutorial specifically on type and typography. The panel over here that a lot of people really like is the Effects and Presets panel, and you'll be doing a lot of work in here. This is really where the fun starts to happen. So there's a lot of animation presets. Um, if you do green screening, you can have keying presets. So there's a lot of things in here that some of which we'll do tutorials on, and some of which it's really best to play around with and see what you like and what comes up. If you're working with audio, you can see the levels in here and general information on what you're working on. Okay, so let's get some material in your project so I can show you a few other things. So one way to import is to go to Import, okay? And you go to File. I'm just going to pick something here. I'm going to pick this picture of pizzas, open it up. Now, it says Chapter 5. This was because it's from a tutorial I've been taking. And that's not particularly helpful to me if I'm looking at a lot of material and where did I put the picture of the pizzas. So I'm going to change the name. I do right click, and I'm going to come down here to rename, and I'm going to call it pizzas. Okay, so that's one way to change the name. Now, we still don't have a composition started here, so I'm going to take our pizza picture and I'm going to put it down here in the timeline. And you'll see it starts a layer here. It's layer number 1. And now the pizzas are showing up in a composition that is titled Pizzas 2. Okay, this is the symbol for composition. And you'll notice that down here, if you want to start a new composition, you can click on that and you start a new composition. Okay, since we don't need a new composition right now, we're going to continue, and I'm going to show you a couple other things in this opening tutorial. So we're going to go up here to the Tools panel, and I'm going to hit Text. As soon as I do, the character panel opens up. I'm just going to pick something for, actually, something for demo purposes here. Just try noteworthy, okay? We're going to just leave it like this. And I'm just going to type pizza. Okay? So you see now, as soon as I do that, a new layer starts down here in the timeline. This is your text layer. It will be exactly the way it is in Photoshop, which is whatever you've typed is what the name of the layer will be. I totally get that this is not looking all that great. So let's just see if we'll make it bigger. You can just click and slide to get that size up. Okay, I've accidentally added a couple of D's in there, so I'm actually going to come back in here and clean that up just because that makes me nuts. Okay. So now you can see you've got 2 layers here. Now layers, as I said, works the same in After Effects as it does in Photoshop. So if I drag the text layer down beneath the pizza picture, it disappears because it's now behind the pizza picture. So layer order is very important in After Effects as it is in Photoshop. So that's something to keep in mind. Now over here we're going to do a little bit more on a timeline demo in a different tutorial, but I just want to give you a couple of heads up here. The eye works just the same way as it does in Photoshop. If it's not there, it means you can't see your layer. So say you open up and you can't see your text. To diagnose, you want to see, is the text layer on top and is that window with the eye clicked, okay? We'll do some sound stuff. This is a solo thing, so you just see whatever layer you have soloed, okay? This is a really important part of your layers, and that is locking. Once you've created a layer, if you've created a layer and you've got the effects exactly the way you want it, all of those things, lock that layer down, because then you won't accidentally click on it and do something and change something after you've got it exactly the way that you want it to be. So we'll go over these in another tutorial, but I wanted you to be aware of locking solo and making sure you can see what is there. Okay, as I get ready to end our introductory tutorial, I want to tell you a couple of other things. One is, here in your project panel, as you get more and more assets, you're going to want to organize them. So you can click on the folder icon here, and it creates a folder. And you can have a separate folder for your compositions, so you would slide those in there. You can have a folder for video assets. This isn't video, this pizza shot is just a picture, so I would make, whoops, sorry. Let's just get that out of there. You'll notice if you want to delete anything, I'm just going to create a folder here, and I'm going to say I want to delete this. You can just highlight it and hit the garbage can and off it goes. Okay, but I'm going to create one for images, and I'm going to put my pizza up in there. You can have a sound folder. You want to keep your compositions and your projects organized, okay? The last thing I'll show you is, we already saved it, so you want to kind of periodically make sure that you're saving as you go, and we'll talk about rendering and outputting in another video. So that's your introduction to the interface for After Effects, and we will continue and learn a lot of different things that you can do in this program. Okay, bye for now.